Thank you for that wonderful, warm acknowledgement of country. I want to just say a massive thank you to our education team. And with that, I'm going to hand over to our amazing district director all the way from the Bahamas, Kevin Broughton.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tracy. and it's hard to be enthused at 5 a.m. in the morning, still suffering from jet lag of the change. But welcome to all, a good evening, and to all of us Toastmasters leaders in the making. So I'm going to start with a quick question. What's more important, the journey or the destination?
The journey.
The journey?
Journey.
Anybody else want to shout out the journey? Yeah,
definitely the journey.
I think both. I think the journey to get to the destination, they're both important.
Well, I'm going to go down the neither option, because to me it's about the people you choose to be on the journey with, and to me that's what Toastmasters creates. It's a group of people that want to go on that journey together and to be able to grow. And the one thing that I suppose we should all be recognizing right now is, what is the district mission? Why are you part of Toastmasters and this collective group of people that have chosen to step forward? Is there anyone brave enough to turn around and say what the district mission is?
It is to create a place for people to meet up and also to generate new clubs.
Yep, that's close enough. We build
new clubs.
Absolutely. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. It's not an or. Our goal is to be able to expand on what it is that we know is a good thing, and to enable all of those clubs that are doing it to have greater ability to do that in a good way. And we can only make this happen when we work together. So as leaders, we often hear the phrase lead by example, and we focus on developing skills and knowledge to be effective. However, there is a very different kind of leadership that prioritizes serving others first, and that's servant-based leadership. That's what we talk about in Toastmasters. So I'm going to share with you today some of the essentials of servant-based leadership, including a little bit of a reflective exercise that'll help have a think about that, and a warning about toxic leadership and the drama it can cause and how to recognize it. But first and foremost, we need to recognize that servant-based leadership is about putting the needs of others before your own. It's about leading with empathy and compassion and understanding the unique needs of the people that you're leading. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a goal, servant-based leadership prioritizes building relationships and trust and mutual respect with the members of your team. So when it comes to the essentials of what servant-based leadership is, I believe there are 5 components. The first of those components is about listening. Servant-based leaders take the time to truly listen to their team members and seek to understand their perspectives and needs. And then the second is empathy, where you demonstrate empathy and understanding towards your team members and are willing to put yourself in their shoes to understand how they feel. And then here's a bit of a woolly one for people: healing. Servant-based leaders aim to heal any conflicts or issues that arise within their team, fostering an environment of openness and honesty, and encourage their team members to express their concerns and work towards resolutions. And then we have awareness. Servant-based leaders have a high level of self-awareness and are aware of their own biases, their own strengths and weaknesses. And they strive to be aware of the needs of their team and are open to feedback and criticism. It's a big one, being open to feedback. And then they need to be persuasive. So servant-based leaders seek to persuade their team members through influence rather than authority. They build relationships of trust and respect, and their team members willingly follow their lead. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment, just a moment or two, to reflect on your own leadership approach. And the way I'd like you to do this, just as an exercise, is to think about a recent leadership experience and to consider how you demonstrated servant-based leadership. Now, if I was a bit more prepared, I'd be playing some music now, but we'll just have a bit of silence for a while you think and reflect on that. Okay, so with that experience in mind, I'd like you to think about trying to answer the following questions. Did you actively listen to your team members? Did you show empathy towards their needs? Did you work to heal any conflicts or issues that arose? Were you aware of your own biases and weaknesses and open to feedback? And how did you persuade your team members to follow your lead? Unfortunately, not all leaders embody the characteristics of servant-based leadership, and some may engage in toxic leadership behaviors. Toxic leadership is characterized by a leader's selfish, unethical, or abusive behavior towards their team members. This type of leadership can create a toxic environment, which can ultimately damage the well-being and productivity of your team and club. So, what are some of the signs of toxic leadership that you should all be watching out for? A lack of empathy. So toxic leaders often show little empathy or compassion towards others, their team and their club. They may disregard their club member and team's feelings or concerns, and often prioritize their own agenda above all else. They're micromanagers. Toxic leaders may be excessively controlling, micromanaging every aspect of their team's work and club activity. They may not trust their team members to do their job properly and may create a culture of fear and distrust. They often demonstrate favoritism. Toxic leaders have favorites that they treat differently than other team and club members. This can create resentment and division within the club. And they often have a lack of accountability. So toxic leaders avoid taking responsibility for their actions and blame others for mistakes or failures. They create villain stories. They may also be resistant to feedback or constructive criticism. And here's a biggie: lack of transparency. Toxic leaders keep their team and others in the dark about important decisions or changes. They create a culture of secrecy and mistrust. It's really important to be aware of these warning signs and to take action if you suspect toxic leadership is taking place within your team or your club. If you find yourself working with a toxic leader, it's important to communicate your concerns and seek support from a trusted mentor. And in addition, it's important to model always the behaviors of servant-based leadership, even if your leader is not doing the same. By leading by example, you can create a culture of empathy, trust, and of respect, which can ultimately improve the well-being and productivity of the team. Servant-based leadership is about putting the needs of others first and building relationships of trust and respect. It requires active listening, empathy, healing, self-awareness, and persuasive influence. I encourage you all to continue exploring this leadership approach and to reflect on your own leadership style frequently so that you can become a more effective and compassionate leader. So in coming to a close, while servant-based leadership can create a positive work environment, toxic leadership can cause drama by having the opposite effect. It's important to be aware of the warning signs of toxic leadership and to take action to address it when necessary. Take action. Don't let it fester. You need to strive to embody the characteristics of servant-based leadership. We can create a culture that supports the well-being and success of everyone. My thanks to you all for being part of an organisation that strives to always act with the core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence, and for taking the time to continue your leadership journey by attending this club officer training. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, thank you so much, Kevin. That some very, very sage and very timely words in that. So thank you so much for that. I will now introduce Kiru. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name, Kiru, who is our Club Growth Director for this year. Spotlight over to you, Kiru.
Yeah. Thanks, Tracy. Before I could start, I want to check my voice is audible and heard by everyone. Thank you very much. I usually get a complaint that my voice is not heard, so I'm just doing a voice check before I could start. Thank you very much for this opportunity by the education team of District 73. I take this today. I'll be talking about how and what we should do in retaining club members. So I feel that retaining club members is a very easy thing to do. Why? Because as long as you follow Toastmaster's core value, which is RISE, respect, integrity, service, and excellence. As long as you maintain in all four of these core values, retaining members in our club is quite an easy task. I feel so. But how do we do that? How do you do that? And why members would leave if you don't do that? The main thing which I would focus on the RISE is the service. So when you say service, what members will be looking for in themselves, in the club when they come to a meeting. For an example, the first M, which I'm talking about in the service, is members education management. In the members education management, the first thing which I would look for myself to come into a club is that, do I have at least a 3-minute to 4-minute speaking slot in the agenda? This is what I would look at. If there is no minimum of 2 to 3 minutes or 3-minute speaking time in the agenda for me, then there are chances that if that gets repeated for many number of meetings, then I may not be coming back to the club. So as long as I see that I am able to speak for 3 minutes, be it a table topic speaker or a round robin master or a table topics master, any of these roles which gives me 3-minute speaking role is what I would expect in a club. And that helps me. The first thing which I as a member would want my club to give me an opportunity in every meeting to retain my membership. Second is how the club executive committee, the club leaders, the club officers are managing my education plan. So if I'm a member who don't know anything about Toastmasters, how they give an initial plan, an initial roadmap, an initial pathways where I can reach from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 until step 10 or even further, until I know what is the mechanisms involved in Toastmasters, in the Toastmasters program for me to self-manage myself. So until then, some sort of a guide, some sort of a template, some sort of a education program management, if a document can be given to our member, they would be able to help themselves, guide themselves, prepare themselves, plan themselves for the upcoming meetings. So I have a small plan called role cycle, which means that from when a new member starts in the first meeting until the next 52 meetings, what kind of role cycle the person can play. So that is the members education management plan, is something which a club officer, the club leader should maintain and give it to the member for them to for them to plan ahead on their roles. So as a member, I would expect some sort of a plan from there. If we do the first one, which is the giving us minimum of 2 to 3 minutes speaking time, and giving them a plan, is the first step that a club or the club leaders can provide to a member to help them to retain for the next 6 months. So when they have, that's the first plan. Now, how would I retain a member to go beyond 6 months is member leadership growth plan. So how a person can grow in his leadership path if we can provide them to a member. That is next step to ensure the members could be retained beyond a 6 months period. So what is the leadership growth plan? The leadership growth plan is, it could be anything from greeting the guest to being the Toastmaster for the day, in which they coordinate with all the members and then get the agenda sorted out, or being a table topics master. So for many people, they think that table topics master means that just coming up with 4 topics, randomly choosing speakers, and then giving them the topic. But I feel quite different. So the table topics master's role is to give some challenging topic to the pre-identified speaker before the meeting. So the person should not have a pre-role or a speaking role. Anyone who do not have any speaking role should be taking that table topic speaker's role. So giving a challenging topic. So what is a challenging topic? I'd like to make it very interactive here. So let's see from my, I'm going to gallery view. So I would take Jan from Pro Speak Toastmasters. So I'll give you one example as a challenging topic.
Oh, you want me to give it to you?
No, it's not a speaking role, just give a thumbs up. Whether you feel that is a challenging one, achievable one, and a fun. The first example is, if life is a rainbow, which color would you choose? If life is a rainbow, which color would you choose? Thumbs up from everyone. Do you think that is challenging but still speakable topic?
Do you want me to answer that?
No. Just want a thumbs up from you or no, if you like. Yeah. Now, thumbs down from people who think this is not a good topic. You can be honest here, please.
What about if we think it's an easy topic?
It's an easy topic. Now, I'll give you another example. I don't know whether it's a good topic or a bad topic. This came with the conversation with, yesterday or 2 days back when I was talking to some of the Toastmasters in Alaska. They're talking about a topic called is abortion good or bad? Thumbs up from everyone. Do you think it's a good topic? A thumbs down from anyone who thinks this is a good topic. Yeah. So we choose wisely what is a good topic, a challenging one. So think about the emotion, think about them, as Kevin said, in the empathy part of it. So give some topics which are challenging. At the same time, do not give any simple topic as well. I mean, too boring topic like what did you do in the morning? Explain what did you do in the morning? Give a summary of those in 3 minutes time. Such kind of vague topics, please avoid it. So that's one thing which will keep that's one thing which will keep engaging the members as well. Next one is be innovative in your Toastmasters. Be innovative in your Toastmasters journey, and if you're being a table topics master as well. We don't have to keep just a mundane topic. So give some challenges. Say for an example, you give a topic, you tell the table topic speaker, right, I give the topic to you. The challenge to you is you had to use a word of the day in the first 5 seconds after you speak. And after that, I will throw a few words word, and you had to use a word in the next 5 seconds. I'll throw 5 words, and after that you can conclude your speech. So likewise, you bring more innovations, bring more challenges, which is easily achievable by the speaker. So that's fun part of it, fun and growth. So if as long as the speaker, the members see there is some fun, there's challenge which they can achieve slowly, step by step and ahead. It is another way. This is another way to retain members beyond 6 months' time. The last thing which I feel, sir, which is quite important, as every club officer, leader, even as a member, is making your member famous for all good reasons. Every achievement they make, ensure they are made famous outside of your club. I'm sure everyone will be doing inside your club. Yes, of course, but you have to ensure that all members, any member does achieve good things, level 1 in a particular pathway, or did a fabulous Toastmaster of the day, ensure them they have been made famous in a District 70 Facebook page, in any social media page, or if you have any access to local newspaper, make them famous. So that is the responsibility of Vice President membership and Vice President public relation, that they make the members famous outside of the club. If you do these 3, I believe certainly member retention is an easy piece of cake that any club can achieve. Do you agree on my statements? Give me a thumbs up. So if you agree, if most of you, if I see some of the hands coming up, if others don't believe so, I will ensure that I'll give you a one-hour talk to ensure how to retain members. With that, I will hand over the I'll hand over the Zoom stage back to our coordinator, Tracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiru. That was very, very insightful. I would like to introduce to the stage David Martin, who is our Program Quality Director for 2023-2024. Over to you, David.
Yeah, hi Tracy, and hi everybody that's come online. I haven't got looking at the participants' names, but I'm sure so far what you've heard has been fabulous. So as you know, Kevin is in the Bahamas at the convention, as am I. And for me, it has been fascinating. I don't know how many people are here. It feels like thousands, possibly is, but it's quite incredible how driven and how motivated everybody is. On the final day of training, everybody was in the final session given a little token, and I was given, it's a foot. And we had to express what the little token meant to us as a takeout from the training. And Kevin also ended up with a little plastic foot, and he had one takeout. But for me, I said that the convention reminded me that in Toastmasters, you can come up to any person anywhere in the world and speak a common language. Now, that common language can be the thing on table topics, such as Kiru was just talking about. For many of us, and for us particularly the program quality directors, or PQDs as we more commonly call ourselves, we're talking about the health of clubs and the way it's measured. Last night, we went to the award ceremony to the districts around the world, and one of the big categories of awards are the retention awards for clubs. The least number of people leaving or the most number of people staying, and people being recruited into clubs. and it leads back to a topic that we've been talking about through the training for the district officers. Now, amongst all the TLIs and MLIs, that's the 2-letter acronyms and 3-letter acronyms, there's a couple of expressions that you'll hear more often. So obviously, one of them is pathways. I think we all understand that pathways, being the educational mechanism of Toastmasters, is quite important. But the other word that you'll hear so much of here is dashboards. And I hope everybody at the COT this evening, being club officers, will be aware of what dashboards are. And if you're not, I could recommend, for a bit of light reading, and I mean it quite seriously, looking at the dashboards for your club and for the district. And on that, you'll see that clubs for the Distinguished Club program are measured in certain ways. Now, that's not just a recording system that's of interest to see how many people have done pathways or how many people have come to a COT such as you're doing this evening, but it's a quality control system that measures things such as education and administration and training and so forth. And when you look at the really successful clubs, they all have that high DCP score. So when we think about what it is that makes good clubs, and I'm sure each of you has a club that performs in different ways, the fact that you're here tonight shows that you have a commitment to the management of the club. If you think about the way that you first engaged with the club and your experiences at each meeting and your experiences with the way the club communicates with you, there's a module in Toastmasters called Moments of Truth. And Moments of Truth is an opportunity to, in a structural manner, assess what the club's doing well, what the club could improve on, and suggest ways of improving. And one of the concepts that one of the districts was talking about, and it's our friends from Florida, was that they have an online system for each club where they send out a private Moments of Truth for each club member. And then the area director for that club at their next meeting goes along, discusses what the club's Moments of Truth survey meant, and they can tie it up with the club success program. I'm not sure if everyone in this COT has participated in a club success program, but it's like any quality control system where it's summarized as write what you do and do what you write. And so a club success program says, this is what we'll do and this is what we'll keep doing as the year goes on. It's a living document, and at any time, if you ran a Moments of Truth, it would align what the members' experiences are with what the club success plan lays out. And we all think that our club does, greeting guests at the door really well, and that we inform guests well, and that our members are kept up to date. I think if members are aware of things like pathways, if they're kept fully engaged with it, you'll see more members do more speeches and take on more roles, and you'll see the club become far more successful. And if you have that experience of a club becoming more successful, I'm just reading one of the comments. If you have that, I think each member's club experience will be far better. It'll be worth coming to the meeting. It'll be worth preparing quality speeches. It'll be worth putting a hand up to do a speech more often rather than sitting back and thinking, I'll just keep being the timer or putting my hand up to be Toastmaster. So I'll be working with the division directors to roll out that sort of program with their area directors with a view to having that up sooner than later. And as you know, area directors make at least 2 visits to each club each year. It's good if they can go to more club visits than that, but the area director role isn't meant to impinge on that member's club experience. But I'd like to see the Moments of Truth program being rolled out right across the district. And I haven't shared that with all the division directors. It's just something that Kevin and I have been talking about the last few days. From what I gather, certainly the Florida district that brought that one up believes in it very strongly. Other PQDs that I've been speaking to through the week also have similar things. And the ones that don't have it have been, like me, impressed by what they've heard and want to bring that in as well. So if you're an area director or a division director watching here tonight, that's something you can expect to see and to receive training on. And if you're not one of those, but you're a club executive member, just be aware that having a workable club success program is a terrific thing. Generally, healthy clubs don't need to do a new success plan. Generally, you can get your current success plan and tweak it often every few meetings. Just have a look at it. The club president can work on it, BPE can work on it, and see whether the club's performance is aligning with what the Moments of Truth suggests. So I think that's all I have to offer the COP right now, but I'll finish up with one other thing, and that is I've been going to the semi-finals of the World Championship of Public Speaking, and there are some incredible speakers, as you would expect, because on your time, Sunday, I think it is, Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there'll be the World Championship of Public Speaking, and the people that come out of that are quite amazing. However, I didn't join Toastmasters to be the World Champion of Public Speaking. I did join to improve my communication skills, but the Toastmasters tagline of "where leaders are made" is very important to me, and the fact that you're at the COP tonight means that it's important to you. So I would urge you, if you're not familiar with Moments of Truth, to start looking at it. If you're on the club executive and you haven't been involved with the club success planning, start to think about that. If you're a club president, get the one out that you've been working on and think about incorporating doing Moments of Truth into the club's program for this year and for every year. Even for strong clubs, there are usually things that they could do differently. Not necessarily do it better, but do it differently. And for clubs that aren't getting strong DCP scores and you think it's a good club, but there's something missing. Working on an effective club success plan is going to be the strength for your club to grow, to retain members, and make your experience so much fun, because that's what you're meant to be having. Toastmasters is meant to be fun as well. So you've heard me use up probably my 10 minutes. Fortunately, I can't see a timer's lights, but I do thank you for coming to the COT, and I look forward to talking to you and speaking to the division directors in the next couple of weeks. So watch this space and enjoy the rest of what you've got on this evening. Back to you, Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you, David. One thing I've just observed is one thing in Toastmasters, we really love our acronyms. I think I counted about 20 acronyms so far tonight. I think we almost need a acronyms Toastmaster role to coordinate all of the acronyms that we seem to throw about. With that, we're now on to the really fun part of the evening, and I do want to say a massive thank you to those of you who have renamed with your role, and the protocol is your role, the name, and your club. And if you haven't done that, if you can do that now, please, so we know where to put you. We don't want any orphans. Also, for each group, I'd like to remind you that you do need to appoint a spokesperson. And basically that is just to come back after the breakout sessions to give a 3-minute summary of your discussions. And I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So if you've never done that before, put your hand up to do that. With that, I'm going to hand over to Graham to start to move people into our relative breakout rooms. So I'd just like to remind you, if you haven't put your role, your name and your club, can you please do that now so that we can make sure that we put you in the right room and we don't have any orphans. Over to you, Graham.
All right. Thank you very much, Tracy. Okay, so for those of you who've renamed yourself, I've got you going off to the room for your role. I'll open the breakout rooms right now, and you should move automatically. And there will be some people left over. That's okay. We can put you in the right room. If you don't go into the right room, that's fine. And if you find you're not in the room that you expected yourself to be, so if you're president and you end up in VPPR or something like that, then just come back to the main session and we'll put you in the right room. Okay, opening the rooms right now.
I'm sure in your breakout sessions you had some amazing insights, and now it's your opportunity for your spokespeople to share your takeaways from each of your sessions. So the first group I'm going to call up is the President's Group. Who is your spokesperson?
Robin O'Donnell.
Okay, can we have him spotlighted, please? And timer 3 minutes, please.
Hello, can you hear and see me?
Yes, there you are. Wonderful.
Great, thanks. Yes, my name's Robin. I'm from Kingston Communicators Club, and we've had a good engaging session led by Simon, and also Kiru joined in the group for a while. Good to meet some of the other presidents throughout the district. Some of the main issues that we talked about were the overall parts of the role is to lead the committee, to be a cheerleader for the club and the committee, and to lead by example, and to be accountable as well to the members. One of the things that we talked a bit about was setting the energy and tone for the meetings when you're opening and greeting guests and running any business sessions and things. To be enthusiastic, I guess, and leading by example is helpful for new members and guests as well who might be looking to join. We talked about working on the Success Club for the committee and the club, overseeing that and working on that with the committee team. And most of us had already been working on that, which was good to see. We talked about the need to be able to find our way around Club Central and Base Camp, and to be able to lodge awards and anything else that needs doing there, and also to be able to help others in the club or the committee that might need help with that. It's important to recognise new members for recognise member achievements, something that we can do either at the beginning or the end of the meeting, and always check of any new members that might need to be inducted as well. We did talk a bit about conflict resolutions and the ways to go about that if that comes up in your club. And Kiru recommended a book called You Can Win if we were looking for advice on that outside of the Toastmasters arena. But that is part of the president's role, is to help facilitate conflict resolution within your club and committee. They were the main things that we covered. Thank you to Simon and to everybody for their input in the meeting, and best wishes to everybody for the year ahead.
Thank you, Robin. Well done. Well done. Some great insights there. Our next group is the secretaries. Who is our spokesperson for the secretaries?
That would be me, Kay McCartney.
Welcome.
Very quick, we had a discussion to start with breathing experience and years as members. We also looked at the responsibilities during club meetings, that the main one's to take minutes, and the second is to keep a list of all attendees. We looked at the differences where business sessions are held, and some people don't do them, some people do. But prior to the meeting, the secretary is the alarm clock for the club, helping the president, updating them with any action items they need to be aware of, to update the club's officer list when required. The business sessions differ from club to club from what we've heard, but the main thing is to note the previous minutes, take amendments, and update the member list roster to the members when it's needed. We had a suggestion about keeping the club files, which we found we have to do it forever, except for all the businesses. But we talked about paper copies versus the digital ones, and we had a bit of a discussion about that. And I've learnt that it's a good idea to look into Google Drive. So that's going to be on my list of things to do this week. But we need to attend the club executive committee meetings, and outside the club, vote for the international business meetings and assist with pathways progress, which I think is really important. I actually believe there should be a pathways advisor with each club, but that's my personal thing. And don't forget to hand over your role at the end of the year. But for me, the last things, read the current club leader handbook. It changes every year, so have a look at it. Be part of the team. Speak up. Don't be afraid to step up and help out other members on the executive. And last of all, I will look into Google Drive to try and get rid of all the paper copies. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Some good tips there from the secretary session. Our next session is Sergeant at Arms. Who is our spokesperson for the Sergeant at Arms?
I think that was Terry, but I can't see him online. He might have dropped off.
No,
yep, you there?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm here. Yep. It was good. It was a good session. We basically all do the same job. When we set up the room, when we set up the room.
They can't hear me now. I've gone out.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, all of us as Sergeant at Arms, we all set up the room, make sure that the kettle is boiling, that there's knickknacks during our breaks. Usually I go early, and a lot of my fellow colleagues, they go early as well. So it gives us sufficient time to set up the auditorium in peace without hurrying. a lot of times I'm always first. So usually we get people who I've never seen, so rock up as guests. So I welcome them and introduce myself, who I am, and once I've set up the auditorium, our president comes, or VPE, and I introduce them to that club officer, and then I leave it up to them. One thing that I noticed is that a couple of the clubs are using a hybrid method. I don't think we're using that. When it comes to our own executive meetings, we use some Google, I think it's called Google Meets or something. And also when we want to discuss something or put something on the agenda, we have a WhatsApp number where we all have our own cell numbers there, and we exchange ideas. I do enjoy my role as a Sergeant at Arms. It is correct, we do set the tone for the meeting and try to make it as interesting and create a happy environment for everyone in attendance. I usually get someone to take out the board out of the club, because I can't carry, because I've got a serious medical condition at the moment that actually prevents me from carrying anything heavy. So if I need help, I've got people who are willing to assist me whenever I need it. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Some great tips from the Sergeant at Arms. Our next group is the treasurers. Who is our treasurer spokesperson?
We've got Leon.
Yep, sorry, I was on mute. Hi, Tracy. That would be me.
Welcome.
Yes, so thank you. So during the session, Stu was very kind enough to provide us a very high level of review of the role and the responsibilities of a treasurer. We had a good mix of audience today, some of which already with Toastmaster, some have just started out, such as myself. Really keen on getting on board and learning more about this role. Really good material has been shared today, and some of that being a spreadsheet, which every accountant loves, spreadsheets, where we can keep track of the incomes and outgoing expenses for each of the clubs. Treasurer being in the role in managing the financial, we obviously need to look at the bank account, but also work closely with our Vice President in membership to ensure that members pay their fees in time. And of course, if they don't, then there could potentially be consequences around not being able to access some programs if the membership is not paid in time. On top of it, there are a few rules and that we need to adhere to, namely providing clubs with regular updates in terms of the financial health, yearly reconciliation for tax purposes, and there's also a list of action items that we should follow and guidelines. More importantly, though, the fundamentals of the role, the essential part of the role is really around ensuring that we learn how to use Club Central, the tool, more effectively, understanding its features and function, and keeping track of the members' fees and so forth. Part of the role is also being accountable for goal number 10 under the Distinguished Club program, and Sue also show us where to find that information within the Toastmaster International website. Of course, there's a lot more for us to learn from here, but for the first day, it's definitely insightful, really helpful. And yeah, I think everybody will be very happy to learn more to be an effective treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. That was amazing. Our next group is the Vice President of Education. Who is our spokesperson?
Oh, hi, Tracy. I'll take on that role. Vikas here. I do apologize in advance for not kicking off my camera because of kids' night time and everything. I'll probably keep it off if that's all right. So great session. Joy led us from the front, learned a lot. We started with a bit of introductions and also a bit of perspective of what we all understand about VP of Education role. We then jumped on to the expectations around how our operation can be different when it's about online versus in-person clubs. We also went about the hybrid modality of the deliveries and how we can manage that. We then jumped on to understand a bit more about what is the role of VP of Education, which is more about really onboarding the new members and making them feel comfortable, making them feel encouraged, understand where they are in their journey, and then steer them and encourage them to take on more challenges, be involved and learning by not just delivering the sessions, but also by ways of participating in different roles within Toastmasters. So that was for the new members. But then the journey doesn't stop there. We also went about what is the case, what are the considerations when it's about existing members or the members when they have been around for some time. So I think one of the key personal takeaways was not to take it as an exercise of pushing them forward in their exercises and speeches and everything. It's more about providing that learning environment for everyone to take their own natural course and learn in the process and participate and enjoy and learn, basically. We did talked about the fact that you should not be giving out Toastmaster roles just straight away. You should think about and evangelize and evaluate whether or not a member is ready and they're keen as well. And that more critically, it adds to their learning journey as well. So a lot of perspectives we shared, a lot of perspectives, not just from Joy, but from other members who have been around for some time and who have seen things and obviously have learned a lot in the process. So yeah, I think those were some of the key takeaways. But again, just to summarize, it's more about enabling the journey of the learners and the members and giving them that safe environment where they can learn and flourish at their own pace. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas, and I love that statement, safe environment. Our next group is VPMs. Who is our spokesperson for VPMs?
That's me, Tracy.
Welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Joel. I'm VPM of the Carlton Toastmasters Club. We're quite a small club in terms of numbers, and one of our challenges has been to increase numbers, not surprisingly. So it was a really fascinating session run by Nola, and as a facilitator, but we had Riti, Michael, Graham, Selvu Karma as well, and just people from so many different experiences is just so useful. And there were some other people with small clubs and new clubs. There was even somebody who had been in a club that had sort of neared the precipice of not existing anymore, which sounds terrifying. And he got back again and kept a few core members around the club and is building it back up. So really inspirational. Some of the really great things that I took away from our session was simple things, things that allow you to sort of personally contact with new potential members. And surprisingly, I'm not doing them, but I will be. And so the first one was, because we get a lot of contact via email, to actually call the potential member, instead of just emailing them back with the information, which is what I've been doing, actually ring them up, find a time that's appropriate and ring them up and have that personal touch with them. And so that and then find out a little bit about them so that when they arrive as a visitor, you can actually introduce them. Great ideas. So simple that you think, why didn't I think of that before? Related to that, after the new member has visited the club, follow up with them, make contact with them again. How did they go? Tell them how great they were in a particular thing that they did, or they had courage. So that's a really simple thing that can do. Probably the really amazing thing that Jan did at her local club was they set up a table at a local shopping centre and did a real recruitment drive, and met a lot of people and got a lot of potential new members that way. You can imagine just having that face-to-face contact would be so valuable. I think there were raffle tickets involved as well, but that just blew my mind. Again, simple, but something that you could do, and I'm sure it would be effective. I'm gonna restrict what I'm saying. There are a few more other things that can be done, lots of great ideas, but overall, just having that personal contact with potential new members, having a good vibe at the club, which has been brought up by other roles, and then also following up, just looking after your new potential members. And thank you.
Thank you, Joel. That sounds like you got a lot of value out of that. Well done. And our last but not least is our VPPRs. Who is our spokesperson?
Me. Hello.
Welcome.
Cool. So I guess my role, I am the spokesperson for the VPPR, which essentially stands for Vice President of Public Relations. And our role is to develop a relationship with the public. And if I could summarize the role in one word, it would be promote, promote, promote. We are essentially the marketing side of the Toastmasters meeting. And essentially our job is to get visitors into the door and then pass it over to the VPM where they can convert them into a full-on member. Now, I think the VPPR is a very important role because, one, if there was no VPPR, then new people wouldn't know where you guys are even located, or they wouldn't really know the schedule of your meetings. So that's very important. And secondly, it's very important because if you don't have new members coming into your club, club's eventually going to die. So yes, it's very important. Now, I just want to hop into the specific tasks of the VPPR. So before the meeting, it's important that the website's up to date. You have your location, you have the date and time of your meetings. It's also important to actually promote it on social media and also deliver promotional materials. And you can order it on the Toastmasters website to make sure that everything you do is congruent with the Toastmasters branding. Also, during the meeting, it's important to hand out those materials. You want to make sure that you take lots of photos so that you can post it on Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. And also, when you do take photos, make sure that you get consent from the members. So, for instance, one of the VPPRs suggested that you chuck it into the WhatsApp group or your Facebook group chat just to double check if everyone has their consent for the photos. And during the meeting, it's also important to actually announce any campaigns that you're running or any promotions, just to keep everyone in the loop as well. Outside the meeting, it's important to be creative. So for instance, using social media, using Meetup, maybe going even doing Bunnings or Facebook groups, networking, other events such as other Toastmasters events just to get your brand out there. And as for the exec meeting, it's important to actually propose new ideas and also just touch base with other exec members to see if the ideas are viable. So for instance, if you are running advertising, make sure you check with the treasurer to make sure that you guys have enough financials to actually facilitate that. But overall, I just want to thank VJ as the facilitator for the session. And it was also a pleasure meeting all the VPPRs for the day. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. I think you had some amazing I think you all had some amazing breakout sessions. There's some brilliant information that's come out of it and some really good tips. So give yourselves all a really big clap. With that, I'm now going to hand back to Janine and Graham to wrap up the evening.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm going to start by thanking everyone who supported this event and made it possible. It is wonderful to see so many people here tonight attending Club Officer training, and a special big thanks and congratulations to our Toastmaster, Tracy. Thank you for stepping into that role. To our timer, Christina, who we didn't see, but she was working all night to support us. Thanks, Christina. Our Zoom Master, Graham, who ensured we all got into the breakout rooms. And to our wonderful 7 breakout room facilitators. They were Simon, Chris, Michael, Sue, Joy, Nola, and VJ. Thank you to all of you. Without you, we wouldn't have had this wonderful session that we did. And I know that everyone's really gained such a lot. I could tell from the feedback that it was really important to everyone to have this opportunity to learn about the roles and to meet other people doing the same role. I've only got one more thing to say, and that is that the winner of this month's Education Enthusiasts Award is the new club, Control Alt Speak, who had 6 members here for Club Officer training. So please stay when everyone else leaves and we'll take a photo of you for our newsletter. Over to you, Graham.
Great, thanks very much, Janine. Well, folks, I hope you've all gotten a lot out of tonight. I always get something out of Club Officer training every time. So the only other thing I'd like to say is that we have a survey. I've posted this survey's link in the chat a couple of times. So if you can hit that link and let us know how we went, the feedback will help us to assess our offerings and improve them, which is what we want to do. All right, folks, thank you very much. And if you're going to the international business meeting, you still have time, 7 minutes, in fact. All right, thanks very much, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.